I'm still on a trip away, but a new patch just dropped for all Trumbull, and I figured I'd cover the changes that just got made. Now, this time around, there were a few balance changes, but also a massive system mechanic change, if you will, that affects numerous characters. I'm going to cover the system mechanical change first, which has to do with Downpower. Now, first things first, I'll explain what Downpower is. Downpower is this, like, invisible number that pops up whenever you're attacking somebody, whenever you're getting attacked, that slowly but surely adds up, and eventually it'll trigger hard knockdown on your opponent. Every attack in the game has a Downpower value, whether it's something as small as 10 or something as great as, like, 250, for example. And eventually, again, once you reach the maximum Downpower, which is 500, a hard knockdown will be triggered, granting your opponent or granting yourself iframes. For this patch, they increased the Downpower for a lot of characters to 50, Assault Deku being one of them. Previously, Assault Deku's Downpower was 10, which means to get to the maximum 500 Downpower, you had to get hit with an Assault Deku Alpha 50 times before that hard knockdown would ever get triggered. Now, his Downpower, again, it's 50. 10 Assault Deku Alphas will eventually trigger the hard knockdown, so I'll go ahead and do a couple right now. We got 8 right there, 2 more, and then the hard knockdown triggers. So as you can see here, 10 Assault Deku Alphas will eventually now trigger hard knockdown. Now then, realistically speaking, it won't ever go to this point, right? To do 8 Assault Deku Alphas is doing 800 damage, so you should get a down with somebody before you actually get the hard knockdown. I think they made this change to kind of reduce how effective team combos can be. So like if your teammate pulls someone in with Aizawa Alpha, if your teammate floats somebody with Ochako Gamma, pulls somebody in with AFO Gamma, for example, stun with Denki Gamma, and you start, you know, trying to add in your damage with the Alpha, it should now trigger that hard knockdown much quicker, so the team combo TODs that can kind of take place in this game should happen a little bit less now that certain characters, Assault Deku, has a much higher Downpower value. Now then, it's not just Deku who got this Downpower change, a lot of other characters also have it, Ochako's being one of them. Her Alpha has a Downpower of 50 as well, so again, if you land 10 of these, which it's very unrealistic that you will land 10, that hard knockdown gets triggered. Again, though, you know, as you're playing with different characters, if you're playing with, like, Rapid Bakugou, Strike Deku, characters whose main attacks have a high Downpower, these other attacks will now trigger the hard knockdown quicker. So if I have a Rapid Bakugou teammate shooting at this Ochako, building up his Downpower because Rapid Bakugou, just to showcase that quickly, he triggers the hard knockdown very quickly. Characters like Assault Deku, Ochako, if they're landing their Alpha now, they'll trigger that hard knockdown quicker now because of these characters working in tandem, kinda. The Downpower change also affected her Beta as well. If you're just throwing her Beta over and over, it now has a Downpower of 50, so if you land 10 of these, it will trigger the hard knockdown, though she can't even throw 10 of them, right? But again, if you start landing those Alphas, or if you're playing with other characters, Strike Deku, Rapid Bakugou, Tech Denki, Tech Shoto, other characters that do have higher Downpower values, you're gonna see that knockdown happen much quicker now with a change like this. I'm actually still curious if her main B&B is still possible, the Gamma Alpha. Yeah. I mean, it seems like that's when the hard knockdown typically triggers. I'm not sure if this change would have removed some of her other combos, but that B&B is still there, and it does a lot of damage. Now that the change also affected Strike Todoroki, again, if he's landing 10 Alpha shots, he will trigger hard knockdown by himself. If he's working in tandem with another character who has Downpower values that are very high, that hard knockdown will be triggered much quicker. For some reason, they made the change happen to Sue as well, to Froppy. So again, if you're landing 10 of these, you will eventually get the hard knockdown. She only has 3 charges, so again, it's unlikely that she'll do it solo by herself. But if she's attacking alongside one of her teammates, it will trigger. I want to see, actually, if this impacts her 1 combo. No, it looks like her 1 Alpha 2 Beta combo still is possible. The change is also affecting Strike Kaminari, so again, go to fire off 10 of these, we will be getting the hard knockdown. I'm actually kind of curious if it, if it affects this combo right here. You stun them into the Alphas. Okay, the hard knockdown does happen pretty quick. Hold on, I want to see how much damage you can get now. So I'm going to make sure they don't heal anymore. When does the damage stop? Ooh, it stops just shy of letting you kind of just take somebody out. Bakugou did get buffed as Bakugou. He does have 350 HP now. So I guess 350 HP characters can't get TOD'd by, Strike Kaminari now, I suppose. He lived with just a pixel. I guess with tuning, though, you can make sure that does get the KO before that hard knockdown comes in, though. The knockdown change also affected Momo's cannons. Now, Momo's cannons already got a down value power increase in a previous patch, where now 2 cannon shots will always trigger the hard knockdown. However, now they made it so that her little AoE, these things right there, they now have a down power as well as 50. So, I mean, if you're connecting a lot of those, it'll trigger the hard knockdown much quicker. The down power change also affected Assault All Might. So, again, if you're just landing 10 of these, you will trigger the hard knockdown on your opponent. as you see right there. It also affects his splash damage too, so let's try to get into a spot. The splash damage as well has a down power of 50 now, so you can trigger hard knockdown early by just hitting the splash damage, which might screw you over a lot if you're landing the splash damage a lot. Now, I'm gonna be real, I don't know why they did this to this man. I don't think he needed this change, but they gave the down power change also to Tech Dabi of all characters. So now Tech Dabi Alpha, again, has a down power of 50. If you're landing 10 of these, it will trigger hard knockdown. Again, if you're working alongside other characters that have higher down power values, Strike Deku, Rapid Bakugo, any of those characters, Tech Dabi now might screw you over and trigger the hard knockdown a little bit early. Tech Toga's knives also got a down power change going from 10 to 25, so it takes 20 of her knives to trigger hard knockdown. But again, I think you will just down somebody outright before you get to that point with her, with the knives alone. But again, if you're working with those characters that build up that down power up, you will kind of screw them over by throwing your knives a little bit now. Strike Endeavor also got the same exact change. He now has a down power value going from 10 now to 25, similar to Tech Toga. So again, if you're just holding this, you got to get like 20 ticks of this alpha to get the knockdown, but now his alpha as well can. They also gave this change to Twice, who already got nerfed pretty greatly in a previous patch. So now I'm kind of curious how this affects his combos that I don't even think he has, right? Because he can't do the Gamma Alpha combo anymore. So they kind of took away his Gamma Alpha combo, and now they made it so that his Alpha as well will now eventually trigger the hard knockdown very early, again, depending on who he's working with. The change also affects Compress. He has a down power value of 50 now, so once again, he will be triggering that hard knockdown. I'm pretty sure, again, he can kind of... it launches them up kind of weird. I want to see... I'm pretty sure he can get the KO, though, before it gets to that point, right? Just with the Alpha trucks alone. Yeah, so like, it looks like the last truck that hits him triggered the hard knockdown change, but it was too little too late. But again, if he's working with another character, like if a Strike Deku hit this guy a single time, it'll cause the hard knockdown state to trigger a little bit earlier, and that can screw him over. Assault Kendo got the change as well. She now has a down power value of 25, so eventually she will trigger the hard knockdown, though again, this character, she's doing a lot of damage, so she'll probably down somebody before it gets to that point, but it's mainly just going to be screwing her over in those team combos. I assume, like, one of the strongest combos in the game, right, is an AFO Gamma into AFO Beta into, like, Kendo Alpha, right? But now with Kendo Alpha having a much higher down power, that combo will be a little bit less effective. And the last character who also got nerfed quite a bit this patch for some reason, who got the down power change, was also Mount Lady. So Mount Lady now has a down power value of 50. So again, after 10 of her alphas, she triggers that hard knockdown. So again, for a lot of these characters, if it's a one-on-one situation, you're going to get the down before the down power screws you over, right? If it's just you attacking your opponent, like with Assault Deku here, you're going to have this Deku down before he gets knocked down by the down power change, right? This mainly, to me, seems like they're trying to really make it so you can't just get destroyed by team combos, right? Because a lot of characters in this game have high down powers. I kept stating over and over, Strike Deku, for example, takes 2 alpha shots to knock down. So if a Strike Deku and, like, a Mount Lady are attacking the same target, they're going to get that hard knockdown stay a little bit earlier than before. And again, just for combos, I think, you know, AFO Gamma into AFO Beta, into, like, Assault Deku Alpha, for example, you're going to get that hard knockdown state much quicker, even if the AFO stops his Beta a little bit early. To let Deku get some shots in, it should trigger that hard knockdown state much quicker, making it harder to get TOD by combos like that. So while I don't think this changes too much in those one-on-one aspects, if your team, or if even other people in the lobby are attacking the same opponent as you, and they're playing characters with higher down power values, these people are going to get knocked down much quicker. And if the person you're attacking gets group killed, for example, you know, if I'm attacking Sochako, and then she gets group killed right here, and I keep attacking her, she will eventually get knocked down before she goes down herself. Now then, while I'm on Assault Deku, they actually did give him more nerfs, which I really didn't see coming, but they nerfed his Beta and his Gamma. They reduced the cooldown of both these moves. His Beta now has, I believe, a 6-second cooldown once you use it at level 9, and his Gamma as well. If you use up both the charges at level 9, it has an 11-second cooldown. And I believe at level 1, it's a 15-second cooldown as well once you use that first Gamma shot. So some really big cooldown changes to Assault Deku for some reason. Iida got a buff this patch as well to his Alpha. His Alpha has a better reload speed. I'm assuming it only applies to whenever you use one. So at level 9, it takes 1 second to get back an Alpha charge. You do have to touch the ground, it looks like, before his cooldown starts. So you have to hit the ground, but once you touch the ground, you have a 1 second wait time, and you get an Alpha charge back. I mentioned it earlier, but Strike Bakugo got buffed as well. They increased his HP from 300 to 350. And on the opposite side, President Mike actually got a nerf. The nerf was not to his damage. President Mike damage is still very high, but they did lower his HP from 350 to 300. Aizawa got a nerf as well. I do have a tuning build on, so you're not going to see the damage exactly, but previously his Alpha used to do 40 damage when you grab them. Now his Alpha's doing 30 damage, so they lowered his damage by 10. And they also nerfed his Gamma across the board. Now at level 9, his Gamma is doing 20 damage, used to do 22. I do have a tuning build on again, so you're going to be seeing me doing 22 damage a shot. but without tuning, you're now going to be hitting for 20 damage. And at level 1, his Gamma is now hitting for 12 damage. They also nerfed Aizawa's ammo count, which I believe they buffed in a recent patch, or a previous patch. They buffed his ammo count, now they've nerfed it. So now at level 1, his ammo count is 3, it used to be 4. At level 4, he has an ammo count of 4, it used to be 5. And at level 9, he has an ammo count of 5, it used to be 6. Now then, while the down power for Alpha got nerfed, Froppy got some pretty good buffs. Starting now, her Alpha at level 1 through 3, you have 3 Alpha charges. You no longer need to get her Alpha to level 4 to get that 3rd Alpha charge. You just always start with 3, which is really, really good. They also buffed, I believe, her special action reload speed. It's now a 40-second wait, I believe, to get her special action back, which is super, super useful. Info got a buff to his reload speed time for his beta. Now, if you use a single beta charge, it's a 3.5-second wait before you get the second one back. I believe it's still the exact same time if you use them both, though. Now, they did nerf his down power, but Tech Dabi got a buff, though I'm gonna be honest, I don't think this is the buff he needed. They gave him more ammo for his Alpha. So now at level 1, he used to have 5 Alpha shots, now he has 6. And now at levels 4 through 8, he now has 7 Alpha shots, he used to have 6. Twice got a similar buff to his Alpha. His Alpha used to have 5 ammo count at level 1, and now it has 6. At level 4, it used to have an ammo count of 6, now he has 7. And at level 9, it used to have an ammo count of 7, now he has 8. Mount Lady got some buffs and some nerfs. Starting off with the buff, it was to her Alpha ammo count. Now at level 1, she has 6 ammo count for her Alpha, she used to have 5. And at levels 4 and 5, she now has an ammo count of 7, she used to only have 6 there. They also decided to nerf her reload speed for her Beta and Gamma. I believe this affects her Beta if you use only a single charge, and if you use all the charges, it's a much longer reload speed now. And it also affects her Gamma as well. She has a much longer reload speed for her Gamma. Assault Kendo also got a change to her Beta, which states decreased damage multiplier when hit by the following quirk skills, being Strike Kaminari Beta, Tamaki Gamma, Nejire Beta, Present Mic Beta, Endeavor Gamma, both Endeavor Gammas, and also Kurogiri Alpha. I'm going to assume this means her shield takes reduced damage from these attacks. So I have Tamaki here. He's going to hit me with his Gamma, and I guess we'll just see how much damage his shield can take. So Tamaki's going to do it. I don't know if he charges up the Gamma all... Oh, hold on. This might break the shield still. We'll see. Okay, no, the shield took it, honestly, pretty well. I don't know if this change means she just takes less damage to her shield now against these attacks or what, but it just says decreased damage multiplier when hit by the following quirk skill. So I'm assuming that means her shield is taking less damage. Someone can feel free to confirm that change for me. I'm just assuming, again, that it just means her shield can take more damage. Though, I mean, it's still getting broken by the Tamaki Gamma. And the last change was to Shinso, who got a reload speed change to his Beta across the board. So level 1, if you use all 3 Beta charges, it's now taking 9 seconds to get it back. If you're only using 1 or 2, it's going to take you 6 seconds. And at level 9, he now has a penalty reload time of 7 seconds if you use up all 3 Beta charges. And if you only use up 1 or 2, you're going to be waiting for 5 seconds. And lastly, the final change was to matchmaking itself. They adjusted the matching algorithm to match you against more suitable opponents. So I guess that means ranked matches should be a little bit harder now. If you're a higher rank, you should be getting matched up against other higher rank opponents, I'm assuming, is what that change means. And that is everything that got changed in this patch. A lot of characters got some balance adjustments. A lot of characters got this down power increase as well. I can't really play the game right now, but it's going to be kind of interesting to see how impactful of a change this is. Again, the thing about this change, I think if you're in a one-on-one, you're not going to notice it too much unless they're getting group killed over and over and over. Then you might notice your character knocking them down because you're hitting them with the Alpha over and over. But I think this change will only be noticeable when you're playing with your teammates. You know, if your teammates are focusing the same opponent as you, and they're playing characters that also have high down powers, you're going to see this change a lot. But again, that's just my kind of first impressions just from going through the patch notes. With that being said, I do hope you enjoyed this video and you found it informative. And if you enjoyed, give it a like, subscribe. I do have a few more videos going out. Like, again, I'm still on my trip right now, so I'm not currently home. So I do have a few more videos coming out that will be on the previous patch. But all the same, I hope you can enjoy them. I'll catch you in the next one. Later.